Okay, I'm Winnie Blay, and I'm a junior in the creative writing program at Douglas Anderson. And so in my piece, I explore the moments that have shaped my relationship with my older brother. This is a letter to my older brother. The last time you hugged me was 6 years ago. It is 2011. Jesse cracked his head on the windowsill, and the entire family piled into the car to take him to the emergency room. I remember hearing a skull crack onto the marble. It sounded like a lightning strike, and the thunder that followed was the beeping of emergency room machines and families like ours waiting to be helped. Our car smelled like iron for a week. Your arms felt foreign around me, and I can't imagine how they feel now. I don't want to touch you, I don't want to be near you. I imagine your skin being cool to the touch, and water freezing like icicles on it. It is the first day of 7th grade, and Dad has to go downtown to pick you up. Something about shoplifting a pair of headphones, but the details are unclear because the TV muffles our father's voice. It is 2014. I do not know how to feel, so I scream into a pillow and continue to do my algebra homework. So the headlights of the car blink at me, and I wave at my father leaving. He doesn't wave back. My footsteps echo in the hallway as I press my ear against the door once more, and the only sound is my mother's low sobs on the other side. My body melted at the sound of my own mother. This wasn't the woman I grew up with. You dismantled her into grains of sand. She slipped between my fingers and yours, but you didn't care like I did. You let her fall through the spaces of your fingers and then built her into a beautiful sandcastle, only to step on her a minute later. There are moments that we pass each other in the hallway, where you are walking to your bedroom and I am coming out of mine, and we do not speak. It is 2015. I do not say anything, and neither do you. In fact, I suck in my stomach so that you could reach your hand under my ribcage and pull out my heart if you wanted to. I hold my breath because I know what you will smell like. You will smell like everything I refuse to be. It will burn my nose and make my lungs flare. Your black smoke lungs will kill you someday. I will cry and tell you I told you so. I will cry out of anger and frustration and grief and the feeling of being right because I did not want to be right. The world is not an oyster, and I will not come out of it as a pearl. The times I think of death are the times where I do not know where you are. The times where I pause and think of every worst case scenario. My therapist told me to find a middle ground, and that will reestablish how we were when we were kids and we weren't sad. To try and find a place where we could meet like old friends would. When rating my anxiety on a scale of 1 to 10, you are a 20 because the very thought of you makes my skin crawl with 8 million spider legs. It is 2016. We have the same therapist, so there is no need for me to tell her about you, but I do. I tell her all about you and the way you have paved a path of self-destruction by burning the ground with drugstore lighters. There is no middle ground. The only middle ground that ever existed fell out beneath my size 6 feet before I knew what mitosis was. I joke about wanting to die and promise it is a joke, but there are times where I think about death and not being alive. I think about how you would react. Would you cry? Would you do anything? Would you try something to ease your grief? My friend's brother's friend knows you from a deal. It is still 2016. Mom and Dad took your license away and you walked out of the house because they are overreacting and you are an adult. You can make your own decisions because you are 18, even if the decisions you make will land you in a cell. I don't call you, I don't text you, I don't do anything because there is nothing left for me to do. Thank you.